Good morning, everybody. Let's see what's happening across Africa very, very quickly. Okay, we're going to Nigeria. Some very sad news. Nigeria is going to revert back to English in education in primary school. So Africans very lately have been trying to go back into the roots by teaching children in their local languages. You know, trying to lecture somebody into their mother tongue seems to be easier than doing it in English, a foreign language, you know, like Chinese learning Chinese, okay, Mandarin and stuff. They don't learn in English. So many African countries have tried in the past couple of years to try revert back into, you know, autonomous motion, trying to push the people to work into their own language. But it has failed in Nigeria bad. And Nigeria is running back to English. Crazy stuff. What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing good. I see you from the Caribbeans. Wagwan, me boss. I see you from the United States of America. Thank you very much. And all my African brothers, one love. I know you're very triggered. We all want to see Africa move forward, right? You want to adopt local languages. It's honorable. It's beautiful. It's your identity. But it has failed in Nigeria. Big time. Could it have been avoided? Absolutely. So people made mistakes. It has failed. On 12th of November 2025, federal government of Nigeria announced the reversal of the national language policy. Sad, isn't it? The policy had previously mandated that indigenous languages be used as medium of instruction in early education. How beautiful is that? How beautiful is that? Let me continue. Now, English will once again be the primary language of teaching and learning from primary school through tertiary levels. This is such a failure, and it's hurt my feelings. I mean, Africans want to be independent. We want to be free. The colonizer. And you are failing to implement your local languages. It's very sad. It makes me think of some of the countries in West Africa, especially French-speaking countries, where a lot of people don't even speak their own languages. They cannot. They were colonized by the French. The French made sure they beat them up strongly enough. They made them eat that stinky cheese. The people can't speak their own languages anymore. They just speak French. The better you're French, the more intelligent you're considered. The kind of French, you got an African accent, and they go like, yeah, that one is not credible. You need to check his credentials. Just make sure you call the university to be sure that if you go there speaking that beautiful French, they're going to give you tenders and all these opportunities and jobs and sponsorships. But if you speak French with a bit of an African accent, they go like, nah, you need to double check this guy. It's very sad. Now, we thought that the English-speaking Africans were a little bit better in terms of languages. How can Nigeria fail such a beautiful thing? This is crazy. Let's find out. So you are basically telling your children that we try to put you back into who you truly are, but we fail. Now you're going to have to get back to the colonizer. It's crazy, isn't it? Number one, there are too many languages in Nigeria. There are about 500 indigenous languages. That's roughly more than that. So picking which language to speak has become a problem. Now, it's easy to say, okay, we're going to leave English and go back to your whatever language. But which language? Because there are 500 different languages minimum. Which one are you going to apply for all of the kids? It becomes mayhem. Number two, lack of trained teachers. Most of the teachers were trained in English, not in local languages. Obviously, you can't just reverse into your mother's tongue without preparing people into programs where they can actually apply with the kids. It doesn't make sense. And so far, Nigeria has not implemented a large-scale program to retrain these teachers into teaching in their local language. They're not gods. They can't do anything magical. Number three, shortage of materials. So there is no books, no curricula preparing children into speaking the local language. And which language? Question mark. I mean, you need to be prepared. Before you say to somebody, I don't care, don't talk to me like this. Make sure you have your own house if you stay in their house. Make sure you have another place to be before you open your mouth. Say, I'm not your little thing. Don't talk to me like that. Before you set your boss, go, you can go shove it up on you must make sure you have another job. No textbooks, no curricula, nothing. Nothing teaching aids in indigenous language were developed or distributed. So without resources, teachers had little to work with. So you expect this teacher that's trained in English to go and find a way to rewrite whatever is teaching you in his own language. Which own language? We have 500. Global competitiveness concern. Now, the parents are worried. If you take my child from speaking in English in school, which many Africans feel proud about, when your child speaks good English, you go, my child speaks good English. Yeah. Some Africans, when your child speaks African language. I heard one say to their child, stop speaking savages language. Yeah. Stop speaking savage language. You must speak French or English. Crazy stuff. So the problem is this. Parents are worried. If my child only learn how to speak on local languages, how is he going to be competitive in jobs opportunity? How is he going to be competitive out there in the world? How is he going to access higher education and international opportunities? So people don't really know what they want. Do you want your home language, or you actually, you know what I'm saying? And again, it was a policy design issue. So it is very clear that the government announced the policy without proper groundwork. There was no investigation first, no police programs. There must be a pilot program. No pilot program, no phased out to roll out. Meaning you can't just change people from black to white. You need to very slowly merge, okay? Guys, we're gonna start teaching out of 10 lessons, 7 in English and 3 in local language. People get habituated to that. Then, okay, from the next semester, we're gonna do 5 out of 5. Very slowly moving people. You can't just say, okay, from English, we're going back to the... What do you expect? Africans are undisciplined. I'm sorry. I know you. Some people don't like me because I tell the truth. But if you're honest with yourself, So what could have been done to make things good? Well, they should have started a pilot program first. It should have been very easy. Look at this map. They should have started teaching Yoruba in Lagos, Hausa in Kano, Igbo in Enugu, very slowly, and see how this phases out. This obviously would have allowed testing before scaling nationwide, not just jump into things and it becomes complicated. They should have invested in large-scale retraining of the teacher. Retrain the teacher, put money in the teacher. Not done at all. They should have developed textbook in local languages, storybooks, digital resources in indigenous languages. They should have gone to the parents and tell them, parents, don't worry about your children. They should have told the parents, relax, okay? We're going to make sure that your children don't just learn in local language. They will learn English too. So once they reach a certain level, we will teach them English. So the parents don't get scared, and say, no, we want English back. And lastly, they could have gone gradually on a 10-year rollout. The good thing is, it is great. It's a beautiful thing to learn your own language. Let's speak about this guy. You see this guy here? His name is Mobutu. Mobutu was the president of this country. This country, it's called the Democratic Republic of Congo today. It used to be called Zaire. Back in time, it was very respected. Yeah, people love that country. Amazing. But today, it's full of war and problems and situations. Now, Mobutu did something very interesting. When he became president, even though he was known as a dictator, when he started, he was actually a good guy with good ideas for Africa. So Mobutu, when he came, he found Zairian at the time, they were called, had names that were Europeans and Westerns. Basically, you see a Zairian whose name is Jean-Marc Cromenacker, another Zairian whose name is Jean Bosco Ramanadour, Patricia Baladur. That was the names of the Zairian back in time. Nothing African at all. And that made him very sad. Why do Africans have Western nation's name? We need to get back to authenticity.
In 100,000 years of existence, the church has found that some of these people I am referring to here have behaved very well here. Well, they are canonized, they are saints, they are in heaven, so their names became first names. Me, you see, I am Zairian African Bantu. How do you expect me to have a Jewish name? Me, who is not Jewish? Do you know a single Jew in the world who has a Zairian name? So why me? Do you really think it would be particularly intelligent or even conceivable for a young girl from my country to have the first name Chantal or Marie-France or Marie-Flore? What does that mean?
And what he did was, he incited people, everybody, to go back to the root, go back to your village, go find out who you truly are. What was your grandfather's name? Or ask your uncle if your grandfather's dead. Maybe find a name from your people, so you can be called that name. And that was after in 1974, when people from Zaire changed their names back to African names. Some of them, at least. They became Patrick Mukundu, Joram Makavu, because of him. Okay, even though there were still Patricks and stuff, but and very slowly, unfortunately, as time goes, people are rolling back into westernization of their names. It's crazy. People believe what's Western is just better. You know what I'm saying? So he did some great things. He said, why should I name my child Mikael, a Jewish name, whilst no Jewish will ever name their child Musavu? Why should I do that? It is good and beautiful that you give people an idea into rolling back to who they truly are, but you must have a program and a plan on how to implement it. Mali has also adopted a very similar program where they're teaching children the local language, same as Burkina Faso, but they're going gradually, slowly but surely, motion by motion. Another big problem in Nigeria, they made money available for this, a lot of money, to roll out this teaching program in local language. Guess where the money went? Obviously, people in power use the money for their own purpose. They rob the communities. They use it for their own things, buying houses, marrying multiple women and stuff like that. And this is the other problem. One of the biggest problems in Africa, not honest. Africans are not, I'm sorry if I was somebody from another race, you call me racist. I'm just telling you the truth. We know that the reason why people go into politics is not because they love the communities. They go into politics for the funding and the money and the opportunities. When they release money for such program, they will use 10% of the amount for the actual program and 90% will be split on the... And it's sad, even the police rolled in the meme dice. Let me know how you feel about this. It was a great pleasure. God bless.